Hi there, this is Lee, and I'm signing in just to give an update on the water protectors in North Dakota protesting the black snake that exists to devour clean water, clean soil, and to disgrace the tribal lands, the sacred burial grounds of the Sioux Nation. And so there is footage at Democracy Now! Showing that over the Labor Day weekend, the builders, the engineers, the construction workers started bulldozing, even though there had been a stay on construction until a hearing scheduled for September 9th, and then rescheduled for September 16th. They didn't want to wait. They just started bulldozing over the burial grounds, and that ground had been surveyed and identified as sacred to the Sioux Nation. And that survey given to the courtroom, the court, so it was known. And then they started bulldozing that very site over the holiday weekend. And so the protesters or protectors gathered again, and the company, the corporation, DAPL, Dakota Access Pipeline, attacked them. Attacked them with guard dogs, German Shepherds. They sicked dogs on the environmental activists, and at least 6 people were bitten. Quite a few of them were maced by the private security firm hired by the pipeline corporation, the builders. And so this is what we've come to, a violent encounter. And it made me nervous when I learned that there were drones surveilling overhead with infrared, surveilling them at night. And then helicopters circling above them, also surveilling the protectors. The fact that there were somehow issues with communication with the cell towers. No cell phone footage has been able to get out. It's been really spotty and difficult. Fortunately, Democracy Now! Was embedded with the protesters, and they were able to get footage of a very violent encounter in which the private security firm sicked dogs on the protesters and then maced them. And it's a good thing that we have that footage, because immediately the storyline was put out that it was the protesters who had become violent and unruly and were provoking the fight and were the aggressors. And we see it now, with the footage that very fortunately Democracy Now! Was able to get out and to share what really happened, that the violence was perpetrated on peaceful protesters and protectors of the earth, of the water supply, of a sacred burial ground. It's obscene what's happening right here in North America. I mean, we've seen similar encounters play out in Honduras. I reported on that, of indigenous tribes, native people protecting their lands and then being overpowered and met with violence by corporations who are there to extract wealth and subjugate the people, and putting priority over money, greed, rather than human life, rather than clean water, clean soil, and the future of our planet. We've also seen drone surveillance and air surveillance in the Middle East, and it's here now. It's not over there, it's here now. It's not in Honduras, it's not in Central America. It's right here in our own country, where we're seeing our Army Corps of Engineers cooperating with corporations, law enforcement, sheriffs, police on the ground, not lending any kind of assistance to people who are being attacked. They're just standing by watching while these private security firms attack the indigenous population so that corporation can ignore a court order and just continue to build even when they're not supposed to be building. They're supposed to stop and wait for the hearing. And they just did what they wanted to do, and everybody just stood by and watched. So Ajamu Baraka, the vice presidential candidate for Jill Stein, who's the presidential candidate of the Green Party, they are on the ground. They've made it to North Dakota by popular request. I know that I asked them to go up there because I was very concerned about what the intention was going to be to the protectors, the Sioux Nation, when we kind of saw what was happening with the shutting down of communication systems and then the attempt to establish a false narrative around the peaceful protectors and protesters. It kind of pointed the way to what we just saw, violence perpetrated in order to provoke a reaction which would then be met with increased force, maybe possibly lethal force. Democracy Now! Was embedded with them and got footage out and showed us what was really happening. Unfortunately, mainstream media still seems ignorant of this event. The fact that this violence occurred over the holiday weekend, this obscene sicking of dogs on human people deliberately. Maybe the dogs are hopefully not rabid. Has anyone checked? It didn't appear to me that they did. It looked like to me from the footage that they sicked the dogs on their protectors. Dogs bit them, and then they hauled the dogs off in pickup trucks. And this happened in North America. This happened right here in the United States, in our states. It's our people here that were attacked this way. And they're trying their best to establish a storyline that we know is false. The narrative that's being spun by the sheriff's department. He released a statement and put the fault on the Native Americans, that they are the ones that started it. And we can see the video that it's not true, that it didn't happen that way. But this is what's happening in North Dakota, and that's what happened over the weekend. And now Ajamu Baraka and Jill Stein on the ground, and things, and I hope that security continues to back off now that Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka are in the vicinity. I was very concerned. Jill Stein answered the call, and she's there, and I hope everyone's safe there. And I hope that the violence does not rise up again, that people continue to go through the court system. The Sioux Nation, they've been using the court system. They've, done their paperwork. They've got a lawyer. They've been filing their paperwork, filing motions, filing this and that. And it's the corporations that are violating the court and violating the stay on further construction. And it's not just in North Dakota. There's protests in Iowa too. It's not just Sioux Nation either. Iowa farmers are also protesting the black snake. I mean, it's going through several states. It's like over 1,000 miles of planned construction. And so everyone who's on that route are hopefully involved with raising their voices, expressing that this will not stand, that they do not want this. But this is where our nation is. And you ask, one of the protesters in this article I'm reading said, where's Obama? And that's a good question. From my understanding, Barack Obama is overseas, somewhere in the Asian area of the world, again, promoting Trans-Pacific Partnership. That's our president. He wants Trans-Pacific Partnership so we can have more encounters just like we're seeing in North Dakota. That's what Trans-Pacific Partnership brings. I mean, only now we have our court system. The difference is we can still use our court system to fight against these large corporations who want to violate the people with violence and then violate the land and violate the water with pollution. That's what's happening now, even within our court system with Trans-Pacific Partnership, which Barack Obama is pushing, trying to get support in the Asian nations because people here in the United States have been rejecting it. But he's still at it. That's our president. That's our leader. He's still pushing it, but underneath the Trans-Pacific Partnership, we wouldn't even be able to use our court system. We would have no protection at all. At least now we have a limited form of protection. With Trans-Pacific Partnership, not even that. The corporations could just send a oil pipeline through our house if they wanted to, through our backyard, through our house, out the front door, and there's nothing we can do about it. That's what Barack Obama is working on right now. That's our leader. Hillary Clinton, I'm sure she's at a fundraiser. No comment. And, Donald Trump, he's somewhere being silly, being himself. Meanwhile, we have this crisis happening in North Dakota where a private security firm feels entitled to sick dogs and let them bite people and then drive off and nothing happens. It's sick. It's sick. So anyway, that's the update on what's happening there. I'm so glad that the Green Party, Jill Stein, Ajamu Baraka are staying true to who they are, environmental and human rights activists. They're being who they are. They've done this for most of their careers. Jill Stein has been arrested protesting the Keystone XL pipeline. She's been arrested protesting mortgage foreclosures. She's been arrested trying to enter into the debate so she can even speak about these issues. So this is who she is. She's being true to her values, and so is Ajamu Baraka. I think they're a great team. I think they're great for the Green Party, and they're certainly great for what they're doing to assist the Sioux Nation in their Sioux Nation's leading role in protecting the environment, the drinking water for all of us. Everyone who drinks that water, we need to be concerned. And if people are not able to make it to the Sioux Nation location in North Dakota, there's also protests going on in Minnesota. And then there's also protests in Texas because that's where the headquarters of the encounter are. I'm going to go through, let's see. I'm going to go through a list that someone created. If I can find it. I hope I still have it. Okay, well, I had a list of 10 ways that... Oh, okay, here it is. I got too many windows open. There's a list, 10 ways that you can help the Standing Rock Sioux fight the Dakota Access Pipeline. Number 1, you can call the North Dakota Governor, Jack Dalrymple, 701-328-2200. You can leave a message stating your thoughts about what's happening. You can sign a petition to the White House to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. You can donate to support the Standing Rock Sioux. You can donate items from the Sacred Stone Camp supply list. You can call the White House at 202-456-1111 or 202-456-1414. Tell President Obama to rescind the Army Corps of Engineers permit for the Dakota Access Pipeline. You'll have to maybe get transferred to, call them overseas, or just leave a message too. You can contribute to the Sacred Stone Camp Legal Defense Fund. You can contribute to the Sacred Stone Camp GoFundMe account. You can call the Army Corps of Engineers and demand that they reverse the permit. 202-761-5903. You can sign other petitions asking President Obama to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. And so that's another petition. You can also call the executives of the companies that are building the pipeline. There's protests going on in Dallas, Texas, but the executives are located in San Antonio and Houston. And I'll have their contact information in the description of this video, along with this list of the 10 ways that you can assist them out there. So that's an update on what's happening out with the Sioux Nation and the Dakota Access Pipeline, and ways that you can assist. We can't always go to location or get on site, but if you're in the Dakota area, if you're in the Minnesota area, or if you're somewhere in the Texas area, one way or another you can assist, or you can assist long distance with your phone calls, with your signing of the petitions, and sending funds. There's something for everyone, and we do need to take care of our water supply. We need to take care of our earth. We need to take care of our people. What happens to them happens to us. We all drink that water. We all eat the food that grows out of that ground. These are our people. We need to make sure that they're okay. And it's not okay to sick dogs on humans like that. No. So there are ways that you can help, and hopefully it'll be something great when we all follow up and help out Sioux Nation and ourselves at the same time.